Okay, quick music disclaimer here. I do not own the rights to this music, which belongs to the rightful owner, who is the intoxicating mind of Dr. Frankenstein. So he made my intro and my outro, and I hope you guys enjoy. Check them out on Spotify and YouTube, and no copyright infringement is intended. Have a good day.
A clear choice of good versus evil, of right versus wrong.
Twisted Tales.
Christine,
This is Jessie.
and we are the hosts of the podcast Dark Mysteries.
Please come join us every Monday for
Some crazy true crime,
some spooky paranormal.
and of course, it wouldn't be complete without some weird and creepy.
You can find us on Spotify,
Of course, on Patreon.
as well as Amazon and many others.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them to hear that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them. Just a broken guy, got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now.
Thanks for tuning back into Twisted Tales here. It's pretty awesome that you guys wanted to tune back in here. It's wicked appreciated, I'll tell you that much. Now, before we get into this episode here, I just want to give a couple shout outs to some podcasts here. Now, you can go check these guys out. They're totally awesome. There's Eye Opener Society. They're available on Spotify. Carolina Storyteller. The Josh and Polly Show. Ouch, Was That a Ghost? And Death Before Booze podcast. So, you can check those guys out there. They're on YouTube and Spotify and everything else. Now, back to business. My next tale that I'm going to bestow upon you is going to be about a man named Richard Beebo Russell. This guy here stole an aircraft from a major American airline that was headquartered in SeaTac, Washington, and was owned by Alaska Airlines. So, Alaska Airlines is actually the 6th largest airline in North America. Now, this one here is going to be another viewer requested episode. This gives me some time to pop these off. So, what do we know about Richard? Well, this guy was born September 19th, 1989 in Key West, Florida. Has a population of a little over 25,000. So Richard and his family had moved to Wasilla, Alaska. Wasilla, Alaska is actually located outside of Anchorage. This is about 45 minutes or so away. So everybody nicknamed him Beebo as a young fella. The name kind of stuck with him through the years, and that was just how he got his nickname. So Wasilla has a population of around 7,800 people. Now, he attended Wasilla High School, and he graduated in 2008. So while he was there, he played on the wrestling team here. This was the Wasilla Warriors, and he was actually a three-point star. So as far as wrestling goes, it goes by a point system here. So all these ways to score points can be like a takedown, that's worth 2 points. There's an escape, that's worth 1 point. Reversal, 2 points. A near fall can actually give you negative points here. You get these points when your opponent's like not quite pinned, and it can lastly give you penalty points. So yeah, just a little info on the sport here. I mean, I know fuck all about college wrestling, but wrestling from the 80s and 90s, yeah, I kind of know a lot. Now, Russell did other sports here too. He placed 5th in the state in the game of discus, 4th in wrestling in the 250-pound category, and his wrestling belt is actually still located in the school gym. And everybody remembers this guy as like a brick shithouse. Like, he was just big, burly, he had broad shoulders, huge arms, and he just got into playing football, right? This is another sport where he absolutely fucking killed it, scoring 6 touchdowns as a standout senior fullback. And this guy was one to embrace contact. Friends and family made mention that he got his bell rung once or twice before. But back then, all this concussion and brain injury shit wasn't as mainstream as it was today. A concussion control protocol for school sports didn't implement until like about 2011 or so. Now, while he was in high school, he was known to host booze-free bonfires for friends, and friends just loved this guy, right? Like, he was just wicked good-natured, and there was never a time when he wasn't. Now, after his senior year, he moved to North Dakota after being recruited to play some pigskin over that way. So this was at North Dakota's Valley City State University, but he didn't quite get the gameplay that he deserved. His high school football games, like, sure they made the headlines in the local paper and shit, but college was just a whole different thing, right? It was a whole different ballgame. Huh. He was redshirted his first freshman year, so definition of this means that if you play fewer than 4 games in your freshman year. Now, this is like a delay or suspension of an athletic participation in order to lengthen the period of eligibility. He still traveled with the team. He did that in 2009 here, and he actually played a game where he gained 3 yards. So that's awesome. Now, Russell left the team directly after that season. Now, his coach had remembered him as a no-issue kind of guy. Even in his senior yearbook, like he had quotes from a Bible verse here. Now it goes, "Whoever enters an athletic competition wins the prize only when playing by the rules." So, I mean, he was a man of God, you know what I mean? And a fun-loving guy, pretty quirky, outgoing, and this is why a lot of his friends hung around with him, right? After this, he switched schools and he enrolled in Southwestern Oregon Community College. This was up in Coos Bay. Now, this school has over 1,500 plus students. Your average class size is about 14, and it offers up about 40 programs to students there. So you can go get your learn on, do your thing, right? Now, the public community college here, it's one of like Oregon's second oldest community colleges here. It was founded back in 1961, actually. So while he was here, Russell found more time for his faith, and he ended up joining a student group called Campus Crusade for Christ. Let me restart that. And this is a Christian organization founded in 1951 at the University of California, Los Angeles. Originally ran and started by Bill Wright and Vanette Zachary Bright. Now, this guy Bright actually wrote the 4 spiritual laws and shit like this. This is back in 52, actually. Now, he died July 19th, 2003. He was 81. And his wife was well known for like prayer rallies and shit, other public meetups. She wrote like 20 books and stuff, so good for her. Now, this ended up turning into like a huge organization over time and was just a really big thing in the colleges, and this was all around the fucking states. So. Yeah, she lived to be 89, so I mean, they did some good in their lives and they helped some people, right? Now, Russell, just being really religious, he found his way here, like, this is where he found his calling type thing. He began to mentor, like, some high school students throughout all this, and working with the Campus Crusade, he met a girl named Hannah. All they would do is hang out, help others. Even the campus crew would help, like, pick up some garbage on campus. Everybody was just very good-natured that way, right? Now, Russell had studied in the culinary program as well while he was here. He did this with Hannah, and the two would eventually hit it off. So they started hanging out, eventually started dating, and they ended up marrying back in 2012. So they opened up a bakery shortly after. So this was named Hannah Marie's Artisan Breads and Pastries. And it actually had some very good success, mind you. So that's awesome. There's no better thing in life than finding common grounds with your partner, working out things and, running your own thing, doing your own thing that you want to do in life. Good for them. Now, this was around the time that Hannah was about 21 and he was about 22. So this was roughly 2 months after the wedding that they got all this bakery stuff on the go. Now, this was located at 1948 Sherman Avenue, and it actually previously was called Gary's Bakery. So they replaced Gary's Bakery and started their own stuff. Now, the guy was nice enough to stick around for a bit, like give them some pointers and everything, right? And yeah, they also used their knowledge from the culinary program to bake loaves of bread. They did some sweets up, a few other things here and there, right? And like I said, the previous owner, like, showed them some stuff. He just wanted to make sure that they got started up properly. Now, they gained a ton of clientele here, despite the fact that they barely did any advertising, right? But all good things come to an end here. They both decided to make plans to move out of there. It was more so due to the isolation and everything. So they ended up settling up in Sumner, Washington. And it's actually a little known fact here. Sumner was actually named Franklin. This was up until 1891 here. The post office department requested the name be changed to avoid confusion with similar named towns that are around the way. And even the whole bakery here, like it had a Bible verse here. This was hung up in the bakery. This said, I have loved you with an everlasting love. I will build you up again, and you will be rebuilt. This was just like his little thing with Hannah, and all the power to him, right? Like, they did good work, but they sold the bakery back in 2014, but it had a 3-year run, right? So they made the move in 2015. Russell started on the hunt for job employment, and he began to work as a ground service agent with a company called Horizon Air. This is a wholly owned subsidiary of Alaska Air Group. Wholly spelled W-H-O-L-L-Y, not holy because of the whole religious shit, so let's get that out of the way. This was founded back in 1985 and serves the whole United States. So let me give you some details here. Now, details of what a ground agent can include. Just a lot of different shit here. You can handle baggage, operate ground support equipment, lots of manual labor, and you get to work in all different kinds of weather conditions, like tons of rain, your hand bombing luggage. And yeah, like in order to keep a job like this, you'll need to be able to lift heavy objects, anywhere up to 70 pounds, have good communication skills, which Beebo definitely carried along with him, and you would need to have strong problem-solving skills here. So this is just to name a few things that go along with the job, right? And it's a busy job here, like you're being around all this constant noise, the planes, other equipment, you have gas fumes, heavy lifting, all that shit, right? Russell had a very good gig too. It actually offered up like free flight benefits, so he took advantage of that here. He got to travel all over with his wife, and he could now visit his family in Alaska whenever he had his time off. He got to learn a lot of other stuff while he was here. He never stopped trying to thrive to just learn a little bit more. He attended Washington State University Global Campus, and he actually majored in social science. Now, he was planning on climbing the rungs here at the air company. He wanted to switch over to like a managerial position, but he also pondered on doing something else military-wise. Perhaps, maybe he would have went into law enforcement, he was thinking. And this was all after he got his degree. But in his spare time, he spent a lot of time at the local church, and even with the local Christian youth ministry. Now, this was called Young Life. This focused more so on the young people in middle school, high school, and college. So he would try to help the kids throughout school, just like he did while he went to school, right? He found this group, and he's trying to help them. And there was a pilot here named Joel Monteith. So he remembers showing Russell a few things here. He remembers him really showing interest in observing like him fire up the aircraft here. There was another time here when Joel found Russell and another coworker inside of a jet just flipping around some equipment switches. And he even went as far as to check some instructional videos on flying. But he didn't have any professional flight training or anything like that. He was always trying to learn a thing or two. And on August 10th, 2018, he finally decided that he was good enough to fly a plane. Now, this was around 7 p.m. or so. He drove his little tow rig out across the giant airfield there and over to the parked plane. So he used his employee badge to gain access or gain entry, what have you. The aircraft that he went to was a Bombardier Q400. This was built by Bombardier Aviation back in 2012. It had two Pratt& Whitney PW150 engines. So this is a Canadian-based aircraft engine manufacturer that was founded like 95 years ago, so 1928, and this was in Quebec. The crew on the ground didn't really notice Russell, because it was just normal for him to tow planes on the tarmac anyways. It wasn't his first rodeo with this. He had his work gear on, a yellow and orange reflective vest, just like he had on many other ships prior to this one, right? And nobody really noticed anything out of the ordinary. Now this was a big plane too, and actually seated like 76 passengers. It actually completed its last scheduled flight that day, so that's why it was parked there. Now the airplane had no lock on it or anything like that. Cockpit wasn't secured, so Russell just sat down in the cockpit. He just started to fire on the engines to that bad boy, and the only tricky thing was that he had to do was kind of maneuver the parked plane, which is a two-person job. So at 7:15, he hooked the tug to the front of the Q400, removed the wheel blocks, and boarded the plane once more. And this is where he kind of went beyond his pay grade here. So he started toggling the levers and the switches. He hopped back out, reboarded the tug, and then he swiveled the plane towards the runway. And still, nothing really seemed out of the ordinary here. Nobody really noticed a thing at all. The security guard here that was down in the area, he was dealing with the vehicle around the entrance gate, so he was occupied. And Russell now had direct and immediate access to the runway, going in the direction for takeoff, and eventually, takeoff he did. But as he was going down here, it was kind of noticed by air traffic control, so they radioed in here down to the aircraft. Now they said, aircraft on Charlie lining up on runway 16 center. Say your call sign, then nothing at all. No response. Traffic control then spoke a little bit more aggressively, saying, who's the -8 holding the runway 16 center? There was another pilot close by that chimed in on the radio. He mentioned the aircraft is taking off, rolling, and he said, were the brakes on? 'Cause his wheels are smoking left and right. He's just rolling down the runway. I'm not even talking to him, said air traffic. Then at 7:33, the Q400 lifted off into the air, heading toward Mount Rainier. And this is like a 14,500-foot glacier top volcano. So this is the area that he was flying towards. So after about 10 minutes into his flight, Russell made a radio transmission and began to speak to the air control guy. His name was Andrew Drury. I wasn't really planning on landing it, he says. I just wanted to do a couple maneuvers, see what it was like before I put her down, you know? Air control had obviously kind of sensed he might be a little bit suicidal, so he tried to talk him down. He noticed that Russell was now going through like a ton of different emotions here all at once. It was fear, awe, confidence, everything rolled into one. So Russell's radio back, he said, man, I'm sorry about this. I hope this doesn't ruin your day. And said he didn't have any plans on harming anyone. He just wanted to fly the airplane. Two F-15s were called in from Portland Air National Ground Base. This was to intercept the stolen aircraft. So both were armed with air-to-air missiles, and they can actually go from point A to point B at supersonic speed, so I mean, they're gonna catch up with this guy, right? Now these puppies are powered by two F-110 GE-129 engines, so they generate a thrust of like 29,000 pounds. And this aircraft hauls major ass, flying at a speed of Mach 2.5 or 1,900 miles per hour. These two jets were what they called scrambled in. So, in military aviation, scrambling is the act of quickly mobilizing a military aircraft. They did this in reaction to the immediate threat, right, to intercept a hostile aircraft. So they thought, right? These two jets were on their way to the area of Puget Sound, and they were coming along with a refueling tanker here. This was from Fairchild Air Force Base. This was to support the F-15 flight, right? In case they ever ran out of gas or anything like that. Or maybe they could try to talk this guy down, you know? So they suspended all flights in and out of the SeaTac airport. And they kept radio contact with Russell the whole time. Like I said, they tried to talk him into landing the aircraft a few times. Now, Russell had been flying around for like probably 15 minutes now. He did a flight around Mount Rainier here. He actually got lost on the radar at one point. So the F-15s were told to only suit up. So just kind of keep an eye out kind of thing, I would imagine. Audio contact came back on Russell. So when they lost him there for that moment, he actually experienced some turbulence while he was flying over Rainier in the Olympic Mountains. So he had thrown up, and he tried to recover himself, right? Try to shake the cobwebs kind of thing. So we gave air control his name. He said, "What do you think I should do now?" To which air control just replied with, "Just flying the plane around. He seemed comfortable with that." And Russell replied with, "Oh hell yeah. It's a blast, man. I played video games before, so yeah, I know what I'm doing a little bit. Everything's peachy. Just a little circle around Rainier, and it's beautiful," replied Russell. And throughout the recording here, like, you could hear him change his emotions time to time. He said he was a broken guy, got a few screws loose. I guess I never really knew it until now. Airport control tried to get him to land over at Joint Base Lewis, which is owned by the Department of Defense. This is built in 1917 as Fort Lewis originally. But Beebo declined this, saying that those guys will rough me up if I land there. I wouldn't want to do that. He then asked Control if he could get a job as a pilot with Alaskan Airlines, if he successfully landed. To which they said, "They give you a job doing anything if you can pull this off." To which he replied with, "Yeah, right. Nah, I'm a white guy," he said. Russell then began to talk about wanting to pull off a couple maneuvers, see what this aircraft can do kind of thing, right? He made apologies for his actions. He radioed again. They tried to advise him to just come down, come land safely, to which he also dismissed again, but he says that he wants to see the mother orca around the area. Now around this time here, this was a giant orca whale, and it was actually carrying a dead calf. Well, she was pregnant, she gave birth, she had a dead calf or whatever inside her for a period of like 2 weeks. So I guess this was a big thing on the news, and he wanted to fly over and kind of see that whale. But he wasn't quite ready to bring her down yet, he said. But holy smokes, I gotta stop looking at the fuel, 'cause it's going down quick. Now, this is probably like jail time for life, huh? I mean, I would hope it is for a guy like me, he said. And not soon after, those fighter jets that got called in from Portland had arrived. So they've been authorized to perform like some aerial moves here. They were going to do some sharp turns in front of it and try to drop some warning flares. But neither craft had managed to get those maneuvers done, as Russell's flying was way too erratic. So as time passed, it seemed that he grew a little bit more panicked. His voice got a little bit more somber, if you will. And he was a little bit more remorseful for his actions. And as time passed, it seemed that he grew a little bit more panicked. His voice got a little bit more somber, and he was just being a little bit more remorseful as the beautiful scenery was passing him by. Now, by 8:30, Russell asked how high the plane needed to be for him to pull off a barrel roll, estimating himself that it was probably around 5,000 feet or so. For those that don't know what a barrel roll is, it's like an airplane maneuver in which a complete revolution about the longitudinal axis is made, sometimes described as like a combination of a loop and a roll, or what have you, right? So, without any flight training, this guy executed a perfect fucking barrel roll. It shows the Q400 soaring high up into the air, flips upside down, flies towards the earth at a near vertical angle, and levels off just above the surface of the water, just a mere 3 meters above it. So it's like 10 feet. He pulled this whole thing off without any flight fucking training, anything. One of the F-15 pilots had reported that he had just completed a barrel roll. The other pilot said, "Confirm, he did a barrel roll?" And, that was like kind of shocking, right? The first pilot gave the affirmative with a little laugh behind it. And people on the ground were actually witnessing all this too. Like they seen this plane flying around. He did the barrel roll. There's phone camera footage from this. So, there was a few people watching just from outside their homes. Now, his stunt was applauded by a civilian pilot here. He'd been brought in to kind of get him into the procedure of how to land the aircraft, just before anybody got hurt or, whatever like that. And for a split second here, it seemed like our friend Russell just might comply with the control tower. He came back on the radio and said, "All right," very enthusiastically. A moment later, you could hear the panic in his voice now. He said, "Ah, damn it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to. I was kind of hoping that was going to be it. 15 minutes later, his last transmission came through. This was around 8:46 p.m. Now, he told the radio that he was low on fuel. At 8:46, Beebo's plane crashed at Ketron Island in Puget Sound, Pierce County, Washington, killing Russell and destroying the aircraft. The first to respond to the scene was actually like a towboat crew that was in the area. And an hour and a half later, firefighters from West Pierce Fire had arrived on the island. They showed up with like some nearby departments too, just to help extinguish the fire, which burned for like a 2-acre area actually. Now, the next morning here it was all put out. There were actually no other injuries besides Beebo's. And this tale here, I know it's a pretty fucking tragic one, like mental health wise and everything. I'm sure mental health can take its toll on a lot of people, man. Especially these days, right? Mental health's a big fucking thing. And it can sometimes push us to the very edge. Don't ever feel like you have to face things alone, right? Because there's always people that are willing to help. So just don't ever feel like ashamed if you need assistance or anything. So not long after this whole investigation, the sheriff's department gave a shout out to the public for all their help with the video footage of the event, the recordings, everything like that. So they were now all over the internet. So they needed to clear up any signs that this could be a terrorist attack too. So anybody who watched all that from the news can go online, watch all these videos, everything, has the radio recordings, everything. Now, August 12th, flight data was recovered by the FBI. Then it was sent to the National Transportation Safety Board for processing. November 9th, the investigation was completed. Terrorism was ruled out, and Russell was found to have acted on his own accord. And even like the police chatting up with like his friends and family over all this to try to get like a little bit of clarification as to why he might have did this, his background, his personal life, any other stresses, right? And there's still no reason as to why he decided to do such a thing. In the aftermath of all this, everyone had showed up to help different crews, even like a few insurers. They actually came down to try and help with the cleanup. And this went into 2019 actually. Now, the aircraft itself was worth an estimated $30 million. So it was actually paid by the company's insurance policy with no deductibles. So some friends of the family here, they think that Beebo had like suffered from some head injuries from his football days. This might have caused him to have some kind of mental instability, and it went undiagnosed. This could have come on from like repeated concussions and whatnot, right? Getting knocked around in football, you're gonna get fucking knocked out and things, right? You're gonna get tackled, things are gonna happen. And our friend Beebo here was dubbed the Sky King throughout this, through social media. So there were a lot that expressed that, they felt some sort of connection here with how he felt at the time. And a pilot, his name was Les Bend. He's been in the game for like 34 years here. He mentioned Russell was uncannily skilled and that he definitely had some hours logged on some PC flight simulator program or something like that. Now, if it was someone who had no concept of how to fly that airplane, it would have ended up right into the water. Just right into the drink, folks. But this guy knew what he was doing. Those that knew Russell are still trying to wrap their head around his actions and the whole thing, right? And some say that he started like a criminal plot that he couldn't walk away from, and ultimately made a decision to take his own life instead of trying to land on the ground and face jail time and everything. But people comment what they want online, right? That's what they do. And with that, folks, as we wind down here, that's my little tale of the Sky King here. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's tale. And, if you're ever feeling lost or suicidal or anything, you can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK, TALK. And in Canada, you can dial 988. And you never know. I mean, this could help you in some way. I mean, just don't ever fucking face anything alone. Speak up. There's lots of us out there that'll listen to you, and, maybe this is the best thing that we can do in the meantime to assist you, right? Even the CEO of Horizon, his name was Gary Beck. He said that there were some maneuvers that were done very incredible. And all the higher ups here in corporate that worked on this case, they said that nobody was to blame for like security reasons or anything, procedures, anything along those lines. Horizon Air and SeaTac International found to be in compliance with all security requirements. One thing I did think about during this case, though, is like the whole comment that Beebo made about the barrel roll and like how calm he was when he said that, right? I think I'm just gonna do a barrel roll, and if that goes good, then I'm just gonna nose down and call it a night. And that this was his last descent. I mean, some say that it appeared intentional or whatever. There's lots of back and forth and everything. And around at the end of the transmission here, Beebo did make note that it felt like one of his engines had went out. Now, whether this was due to like running low on gas or some other technical error, I guess we'll figure that out in time, I guess. Now, after the incident, SeaTac Airport implemented recommendations to improve safety. They installed some more surveillance cameras, increased their security patrols around the perimeter. Also, they restricted like badge access and implemented restrictions on working alone. So now you had to buddy up. This didn't just change regulations at this airport. This changed security measures at airports worldwide. It's a big thing that happened. And they're making sure that this cannot happen again. Now there's greater emphasis on badge visibility, limited access for employees, and they've also made more attempts to raise awareness about mental health resources for their employees. They've done this through training and signage around the airport. Now they've raised more awareness towards this, like now more than ever actually. It's a fucking crazy thing that happened. And there's also a new rule in place here that they have employees have limited access to aircrafts. So all in all, this guy flew about 1 hour and 10 minutes with no fucking flight training. And there are a lot of people online here that think good and bad about this tale. Some see him as a hero, some see him as a bad guy. Everyone's gonna have different point of views on this subject, right? Now, some made comments online that the system failed him because they didn't help him with his mental health. Others, they say that his issues were caused by like old football injuries and there was nothing that he could do about it. And some blame him for all the chaos that he caused. I mean, like the waste of airport resources, all the money, the manpower needed to help with the cleanup, the fighter jets, everything, right? And others, they just fucking call him the Sky King. They give him props that he lived more freely in that hour and 10 minutes than we've all lived in our entire lives, right? And with that, folks, a tale is a tale, and these need to be told. I thank you very much for joining me today on Twisted Tales, and I'll have another episode up for you here pretty quick, as long as I don't get sidetracked or anything. So, thank you for tuning back in to Twisted Tales, folks. I also like to thank the person that does my outro, actually. That's the intoxicating mind of Dr. Frankenstein. So he does some sick beats on my outros and shit, and we've been working together, so you can check out his YouTube there. Yeah, got some good shit, good tunes. So, see you soon, folks.
And everyone standing by for departure, just hold on with me for a second.
Right, 070.
Approach welcome, final runway 16 right.
Welcome. Man, I'm a ground service agent. I don't know what that is.
Clear to Portland, Seattle 6 is filed to 7017. Yes, for sure. 416 right,
Started up and get it to go. In a couple hours, I guess. But, yeah, I wouldn't know how to land it. I wasn't really planning on landing it.
99 via Bravo over to Mansfield, sent off. Knows how to fly one of those aircraft, but we'll see what we can do and get you in contact with somebody.
Alrighty, yeah, I just kind of want to do a couple maneuvers, see what it can do before I put her down, you know?
And departure, Boeing 464. And so I can reach out to you a little easier.
A little bit.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Sorry, my mic came off. I threw up a little bit. You know, hold on. Shoot. Man, I'm sorry about this. I hope this doesn't ruin your day.
22, cross runway 16 left, contact. Just flying the plane around, you seem comfortable with that?
Oh, hell yeah, it's a blast, man. I played video games before, so I know what I'm doing a little bit.
Okay, and you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything?
Nah, everything's peachy clean. Just did a little circle around Rainier. It's beautiful. I think I got some gas to go check out the Olympics. And, yeah.
Okay, and Rich, do you know, are you able to tell what altitude you're at?
Runway 16 left to contact tower for your landing clearance.
I threw up all inside of it. It's bad.
You'll be released when you taxi out.
American 600.
Fat to join. I was thinking about it, and then probably a good thing I didn't.
494.
Mexico 494, Monitor Tower 1.
Our attempts to ditch on up.
Yeah, that's all mumbo jumbo. I have no idea what all that means. I wouldn't know how to punch it in. I'm off autopilot.
Okay, see ya. Make a right turn on Bravo. 5,500.
Get me to the jets.
No, I'm not taking you to any jets. I'm actually keeping you away from aircraft that are trying to land at SeaTac.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't want to screw with that. I'm glad you're not, screwing up everyone else's day. On account of me.
All the traffic in front of you, make the daisy chain up around onto Alpha. We're going to keep people clear this runway first. 446, can we just shut down?
I'm down to 2100. I started like 30-something. 100 pounds of fuel.
Rich, you said you're at 2,100 pounds of fuel left?
Yeah, I don't know what the burnout is like on takeoff, but yeah, it burned quite a bit faster than I expected.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we have the fuel.
Contact tower. There is the runway just off your right side in about a mile. Do you see that? That's McCord Field.
Oh man, those guys would rough me up if I tried landing there. I think I might mess something up there too. I wouldn't want to do that. Hopefully. Oh, they probably got anti-aircraft.
No, they don't have any of that stuff. We're just trying to find a place for you to land safely.
Yeah, not quite ready to bring it down just yet, but holy smokes, I gotta stop looking at the fuel because it's going down quick.
Okay, Rich, if you could you start a left-hand turn, and we'll take you down to the southeast, please.
This is probably like jail time for life, huh? I mean, I would hope it is for a guy like me.
Well, Rich, we're not going to worry or think about that, but could you start a left-hand turn, please?
2, horizon 2627.
92, thank you. And he's going to try and help you out here a little bit, okay?
90.
Right turn ending at 070. And I think you might have some questions. Rich, I've got a pilot on with us, and if you got any questions, you can ask him now.
Hey, well, first off, you're a little breaking up a bit. Maybe I'm too far away. What's the distance on this frequency?
That's 5261 Heavy, Roger. Might be a little bit before speed's just fine for now, thanks. Well, good.
You are very calm, collect, poised.
Seen on runway 16 center.
Okay, crossing 16 center, hold short 16 left, Alaska 589.
0, descending me like that in about 2 to 3 miles. 400 apparently is a grounds crewman with Horizon, I guess. And right now he's just flying around, and he just needs some help controlling his aircraft.
Very good. Nah, I mean, I don't need that much help. I played some video games before. I would like to figure out how to get this cabin altitude. Like, I know where the box is. I would like to get some, make it pressurized or something, so I'm not so lightheaded.
Rich, what's your altitude?
Cross 16 center, cross 16 left, contact ground, comes to gate 1. I'll ask the 430.
Do you know how long it's going to be? No idea?
We have no idea right now, so if you just hold on Alpha, all those aircraft were in sequence, so we'll get you going as soon as we know.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I don't know anything about the autopilot. I'm just kind of hand flying right now.
Okay, do you know how fast you're going?
It's a hold behind Jet.
That's 2021.
Minimum wage. We'll chalk it up to that. Maybe that'll grease the gears a little bit with the higher up. Maybe, yeah.
That's 252, 16, good day.
I think I lost you behind some hills a little bit. I'm coming back though.
718, I believe so. Still working on an issue. I don't really have an estimate on how long that may be.
Okay, thank you.
Of 16 left, American 7, Alaska 691.
Damn it, Andrew! People's lives are at stake here.
Now, Rich, don't say stuff like that.
Nah, I just told you I don't want to hear no one. I just want you to whisper sweet nothings into my ear.
And 600, Roger. It's going to be a while before we can get into cargo 511.
That'd be better than trying to land it. Like, I know how to put the landing gear down.
7,000. Expect flight level 410.
Put your power at probably 50%. That'd be the two top gauges right in the center on that glass display there. And then press, tell me, do your power at 50% or tell me what you got.
Yeah, I got it like flight idle.
Well, that's too slow. Bring it up to like 50.
80 of you, Bravo Rams, have this 20 SF2.
Visual 16 right.
67. Right now.
All right, no problem. Yeah, because I just want to know if we can, do a water service for the passengers back here.
4,000, so straight in. Actually, at or about 3,000, advised to go inside.
Other side on the bottom, it says HDG, and it's got a little blue M on it. You can crank that around, and you know what, tell you what, let's just do this. Push, you see the HDG button right by that little thumb wheel?
On Papa Cross 16 center, cross 1.
What's all the airplanes doing on Alpha? It's going to maintain 8,000.
Plus 420.
No, you can do that with these things. So what would, if you were to do it, how would you do it?
Well, I'd try to figure out how to use the autopilot first.
On the Roger, touch spot 88 via Bravo, County France.
88 and over ramp at 2057.
Not concentrate so much on flying the airplane.
Hey, you think if I land this successfully, Alaska will give me a job as a pilot?
I think they would give you a job of doing anything if you could pull this off.
Yeah, right. Nah, I'm a white guy, eh?
It's 3 maintain 110 orbit better to a 5-mile final contact point down out to 120.6.
Okay, we'll do that with Steven. We're going to go to the top.
Talking to that aircraft at this time. If they need your assistance, I will let you know, but they're talking to that aircraft right now.
Roger.
20
Some moment.
Yeah, you do you, man. Hey, FAA guy, Andrew, you on?
Yeah, I'm still here, Rich. So now maintain 10, 10,000, please. 373.
Bad, but kind of not either.
0,000.
If you wanted to land, probably the best bet is that runway just ahead and to your left. Again, that's McCord Field. If you wanted to try, that might be the best way to set up and see if you can land there. Or just like the pilot suggests, another option would be over Puget Sound into the water.
Did you talk to McCord yet? Because I don't think I'd be happy with you telling me I could land like that, because I could mess some stuff up.
Well, Rich, I already talked to him, and just like me, what we want to see is you not get hurt or anybody else get hurt. So like I said, if you want to try to land, that's probably the best place to go.
Hey, I want the coordinates of that orca with the, you know, the mama orca with the baby. I want to go see that guy.
285, runway 16 right, clear to land.
Behind you, there is another aircraft. Would you be willing to talk to them if they're on the frequency and maybe they can help you land?
6, let me check for you, hang on. That's all right, it's up to you guys, but we got one going just in case. Okay, thank you.
Back into the water. Hey, what's that airport right there behind me? Like to my left.
Okay, Rich, well, first of all, we just need you to keep flying the aircraft. So if you could just stay there and keep flying the aircraft. The airport you just passed over on your left, that's the Tacoma Narrows Airport. I mean, that's also an option if you wanted to try going there. But like I said earlier, McCord, that's a bigger runway if you wanted to try to land there.
446, we're going to go ahead and shut down. Okay, so.
Oh, that's disgusting. 1 sec.
Hey, Rich, this is Captain Bill here. We're still listening. My airplane's doing just fine. How's yours?
285, left to November, hold short of runway 16.
Like I said, it would be a better option, I think, if you tried to land it or even land it on the water.
Yeah. Hey, is that pilot on? I want to know what this weather's going to be like in the Olympics.
Well, if you can see the Olympics, the weather's good. I can see the Olympics through my window, and it looks pretty good over there.
Alright, because I hit some, felt like turbulence around right near, but there's no clouds hardly.
Oh, that's just the wind blowing over all the bumpy surfaces there.
Twisted Tales.